This is a very important topic, and it is something we really need to take a look at from different angles. There is responsibility for the government. There are some responsibilities from the National Assembly, and we need to take responsibility ourselves as well, individuals or people in the Gambia, Gambians in general. When you look at these foreign investors that are coming into our country and investing there, um, there is always advantages and disadvantages of investment. Um, and our representatives, the people that we elect to represent Gambians, should be the people that should be looking for Gambia's interest first, not the foreign investors, but what is the interest? What is in for Gambia? These are things that they need to look at. So, number one, I'll start with the National Assembly. A National Assembly need to look at what kind of laws we have in place for investment, for foreign investors, because their role is they are the lawmakers. They are the people that people voted for, Gambian people voted for to represent us in the National Assembly and make laws for us, make new laws, change all laws, and the old ones that need to be changed by analyzing situations and look at what's working and what's not working. Because every time you elect National Assembly members, they go to the parliament, they need to look at history. What happened in the past? What are we in today? Look at all of those and shape the future for the country. Very important to shape that by making laws that will protect our country. So if you look at what happened in the past and what are we in today, foreign investors are really taking over, and they are, even though they're investing and we expect them to pay taxes, we expect them to do more, but I think there's a lot of opportunities left out there that's on the table. And this is where the government comes in. After National Assembly looks at what are the good laws that they can put in place that benefits Gambia, then the government, who is the executive branch job is to really enforce those laws that are made by the National Assembly on behalf of Gambian people. So executive really need to also, since they are the ones that are the administrators, they are in administration, they need to make sure that when foreign investors want to come to our country, they scrutinize them. Look at what are they going to do? What is in for Gambia? Not what's in for the president's pocket, not what's in for the minister's pocket, or not what's in for other people's pocket, but what's for Gambia and what will benefit Gambian people by looking at certain things that when they negotiate those contracts, making sure that when foreign investors come in, that number one, there's proper negotiations to make sure that Gambian people benefit from it, from employment standpoint, from taxes, from a lot of things that they can do. In my mind, if any foreign investor wants to come and invest in the country and bring a factory or anything, I'm going to say, well, as part of negotiation, I'm going to negotiate to make sure Gambia benefits the most out of it. But two, I'm going to make sure that it creates employment for Gambians. I will not want Chinese to come and invest in Gambia and bring their own Chinese nationals to come work in Gambia when there are Gambian youth sitting out there that don't have a job. I'm going to negotiate to make sure and to make sure that 90%, I'm going to push for 90% of their employees to be Gambians. That's where I'm going to start to make sure that, yes, there are certain jobs that will be held by them. These are the jobs that you'll call expertise job or experts job. These are areas of expertise that you have to have your own people that have knowledge and experience in operating those areas. But the rest of it, the labor force should be from the Gambians. So to create more job opportunities for our country. Now, on top of that, look at the taxes and the benefits that are all coming into the country. And the executive branch need to make sure that laws that the National Assembly will tighten and put in place will include environmental protection. Very important to not to allow these foreign investors to come to our country, invest, but also destroy our natural resource. We should not allow that at all. We need to make sure that there is our environmental protection agency is on their toes, really inspecting these investors every month. Every month they go, just like how a health department would do in America, and how any environmental compliance agency will do. Every month they are on the street, they're going around and unexpectedly, unannounced, they show up and see what is happening live. They see it. If they see violations, they note those violations at least once a quarter, if not every month, but once a quarter, meaning once every 3 months. They go visit these places unexpectedly, show up there, conduct your inspection. And of course, there is a criteria that you follow when you do an inspection. There is a checklist that they need to put together, what to look for, what to follow to make sure all of these are intact. If they see any violations, they need to note those violations. They need to have all of this in digital form, in written documentation to show that they so-and-so, there are, let's say, 7 critical violations, maybe 5 major violations, and 3 minor violations. They need to categorize them in that order. And of course, critical violations need to be taken care of immediately. Major violations, you can give them a time, maybe 7 days to fix it. Minor violations, you can say 30 days to fix it. But Gambians need to make sure that they follow up. Follow up is a big problem in Gambia. For somebody to go back and follow up on what you left off last time is a problem. And we need to make this our responsibility and our due diligence to go back and follow those regulations, follow to make sure that they follow laws. Chinese will not do certain things that they're doing in Gambia, will not do in China, and they're not going to do that in America. They're not going to do that anywhere else. They are doing what they do in Gambia because we allowed them.
Yeah.
We allowing them to do it. If we have tough environmental compliance agency, from when they start investment, when they start their operation, the moment they start operation, the first 30 days, somebody goes there and inspect them and note any violations that they see and make them correct them. And go back to follow up the following month, maybe the next 30 days, go back there to make sure that what was noted on the last inspection, you pull that record out and look at it and double check to make sure they've been corrected. If not, this is where you start finding. You put fines in place, find them. And I once said this in America. I'm not an environmentalist, but I've taught people on environmental compliance, the compliance aspect of environment. I used to teach classes on that. There are certain environmental compliance or environmental violations that can result in up to $50,000 fine per day per violation. So think about that. Our environmental protection agency goes out, visit all these foreign operators, all of them, not just the Chinese, but all foreign operators, on an environmental basis, go down and visit them and see violations and note them. You come back 30 days later to see that those are not fixed, then you put the pen and paper together. You put your foot down and start issuing citations. Here's a fine for this, and each fine need to carry its own, each violation need to carry its own fine, and the fines can be determined by their environmental protection agency based on the severity of the fine and how much of an impact that creates to us. It will be based on, again, critical violations, major violations, and minor violations. If you put fines together and you let them pay those fines, come back in another 30 days to make sure the fines are paid, but the corrective actions also have been taken to correct those issues. If not, put more fines there so they know that we're not playing, we're serious. This is Africa, but we are people. We're human beings just like Chinese. We're human beings just like anybody else in the world. We deserve the best protection. We deserve the best environment. So we can keep our people healthy. These are things that you start with. and if you're very tough on these investors by following the law and making sure that they follow our laws, then we protect our people. That's how we protect our people, and that's how we protect our natural environment. So, like I said, is a collaborative effort between the National Assembly, uh, the government, and of course the Environmental Protection Agency that is going to make sure that our rules are being followed. And if we do that, it will be a win-win situation. You know, of course, after the government screen who is coming and what are they bringing and what are they going to do and things like that, and follow our procedures. I think if we have what we call in America, we call SOP, standard operating procedure. If we have those standard operating procedures and we make sure everybody, every stage at every given time for every investor, we are consistently following that standard operating procedure, I think it'll be a win-win situation. We will not compromise our environment. We will not compromise any risk there, and at the same time, it'll be more beneficial because our youth will have employment, our laws will be followed, Gambians will receive taxes, they will pay tax dollars or dollars to our country, which will benefit our economy. So I'll stop here for now.
Yeah, thank you, Sam.
Thank you,
Yep.
sir.
For the briefing, yeah, it's good.
Sure.
Thank you. I'll ask Njagga, you want to come in to add to
Yeah,
Sam?
I think Njagga is out. I invited him,
Okay,
but I
Sam, you
think
can come
he's
in. I mean, Alice, we can come in.
yeah, thank you, Sam. And you have said it also all. Yeah, I mean, when we talk about foreign occupation, I always try to start from the beginning. Why do we even need that in the Gambia? I mean, economically, it's a profit when we have the right investors. When we talk about investors, they come and invest, and then the country they are investing can make a gain or profit out of it, but not an investor where the country is going to lose money or to have environmental disaster, as Sam said. That is, then in this case, we are not talking about gaining, but losing. Um, yeah, and sometimes people ask why are they coming all to us, to Gambia. We have investors. They are not many. They are just few. But we have people who are coming over from the neighboring countries who used to come. Sometimes they invest, but sometimes they come to find something, like to find work, to make money and go back maybe or not to their countries. Just like many people in the diaspora. But the Europeans, they are wise. They do it this way. If you come to stay, you work and pay tax. So that means they are also gaining. You understand? So in the Gambia, it's said to be done, but I don't know how far. Because we have a lot of foreigners. If they all pay their taxes correctly, then we'll have money. That means we'll even make profit out of that. But sometimes you have advantages and disadvantages. You know, when they come and work and pay tax, you have to calculate whether the money coming in is even worth having the whole city full or not. That's how Europeans control that too. If you have 1,000 people coming in, are these people bringing something to the coffers, or are we spending money for them? You understand? That's why they don't like it when people come here and they don't work or something like that, but try to live from the government, because for them they see that as losses. So these are the things we African countries should also try to have a look and try to see which investor is coming and we gaining out of it, and who is not. Who is going to spoil our environment just because we give that person a license. These are things that should not be. So that means we are losing. So such people, Don't make any contract with them. They are for me no investors. Or like when an investor trying to make a shop or a supermarket, what many Gambians don't see or know that this man is doing money laundering. You know, the supermarket is just a shield there for the eyes of the people. And this is all over in Gambia. Nobody knows it. We know it. And most of the people who open these supermarkets also they are known. You know, so we don't need to mention any name. But these are the things the government should always have a look at, as some mentioned. You know, you need to have people who are controlling, even giving them license. They have to go certain procedures to have this license. You know, because that is also very important, not only for the tax, but for the life of the people. I give an example. These people with their shops in from Mauritania, I don't know. You open a shop, you're trying to sell people medicine, and you know nothing about nothing about apothec or anything. The fact that this person is having shop is also allowed to sell medicine, which is a danger because our people are dying. Nobody think of this thing because they are not giving them the right thing.
Right.
For them, their money is important. So the government should take a step, like Sam said, try to have people who control these things, and even the prices and all, and to control whether they are paying their taxes or not. You know, it's a full right of a government to do that. You should not just open the doors, the borders, and say people you can come in. Most of the time they do it when it's election time, and then after these people they stay profiting again from the government where we don't have money for it. You know, so if you see even Jawara time, he used to practice that, but there was a control. After a certain time, they realized, okay, we have a lot of foreigners. I don't know whether many people can remember that. Then there'll be a day, it's deportation day. They'll drive with their trucks, parking the people inside, and they have to go home. You know, so one time you have to keep the relationship between you and the others. On the other hand, you have to make sure that it's not a disadvantage for you economically. Jawara was doing that, deporting people, doesn't mean that he was a bad man because he was concentrating on the economy. What can the small Gambia afford or not? But I think since after Jawara, nobody practiced that. Instead, I think we welcome them. It's nice to welcome them because one used to say in Africa, you cannot say the other black man is a foreigner also. We are not talking about that, but you have to check on your economics. I mean, your what you can afford.
Yeah.
Because when we say, okay, all can come, look at the problem we're having now with having a place to stay in the urban areas.
It's congested.
Yeah, yeah. So people, Gambians, will be paying more because the competition is too high and the demand is too high. They'll try to pay a house of $4,000 and before was maybe $100. So these are costs foreigners can also bring in one country. So you as a government, you have to have this, how to call it, measures to take when something like that happens. Jawara used to do it. Then they'll go with their trucks and then, you know, the depots, those days you call them depots, they'll be parking them in a full truck and they have to go on, you
Right.
know. And he never got any problem with any of the presidents outside also because the Gambia government feel that it is too full to feed them or it is going to weak us economically somehow, you know. Then you have to press the button. It's a responsibility of any government who is sitting there, you know. Um, yeah, I mean, the next thing is giving the people license like that. I would make sure that these people should always be proved, and even after giving them the license, to always, as Sam said, have somebody who is going to check them right at the beginning or coming periodically, maybe 3 months back, and see what is improving or not. And before all these things should be in the agreement.
Right.
You know, document is also very important, because if you make there a mistake and see that this person is not behaving well, it's always very difficult to come and say, you have to stop it or I break the agreement. Nah, So it's your responsibility to take time. What do you want to make, and how are you going to save the life of the Gambians and all these things, the environment, things like that. Many people know what is going on with the Chinese people, but you cannot go today and tell them, look, you are destroying our umbrella. So you can talk, but they can always show you their paper. Why? Because we made a false agreement with them, whoever that was.
Exactly.
We didn't take care. So, and when that is not noted inside, you cannot come today. Doesn't matter what they do in the Gambia, and tell them you have to go out or you have to do this and that. Internationally, you cannot. So our people who used to make such license or agreements with these people, they have to take care, because they can be very responsible for the lives of all Gambians. It's not
Yeah.
a joke
Yeah,
just to just sign something just because of a kickback or something like that. These people should think about the lives of the Gambians, because it's something that is going to affect Gambia. The
Yeah.
Chinese can do now anything they want. You can insult them, and even the government cannot do much because there is something signed. So
Yeah.
you are in it only. So people have to be very careful, to be warned. We learn now from the Chinese and what they are doing. If we bring another investor, we have to make sure that either the government is profiting from it and the Gambian people profit from it, as some said, to make sure that 80% or 90% of the employees are from the Gambia. Then you can talk of a good investor, because Gambians are profiting from it. The government is also profiting from it, whether it's license or tax every time. That's how people invite investors, not investors. Not everybody who comes.
Yeah.
Some can come, they will cost you more. It's better to leave them outside the border than bringing them inside.
Yeah.
You understand? And to avoid our resources giving one a license and then he is profiting from it, paying his tax maybe, but the tax he is paying is too less that the Gambian people cannot profit from it. These are things the government should also try to look through. You know, should I give this person this license, or can I take it myself, make a product out of it?
No,
You know,
give
I
it to
give
a
you,
citizen. Give it to a citizens who are
yeah,
qualified.
yeah. That's what I mean. You always have to see your advantages. You know, to make sure that Gambians can have something from it later. Or to take it and then sell it yourself, as Ghana is doing. I gave you here the last time the example. They say, okay, our cocoa don't go anymore. We are going to make our chocolates, because these chocolates are very costly. When they do it, they have more. Then sending it in the Swiss, and they make their chocolates and make 500% out of it probably. So they need to look in that. So again, I would say uh, because the list was also the Lebanese. I mean, they have to make sure that they pay their tax. The Chinese, we have to make sure that they don't waste the fees. There is no wastage of fees. Gambians are hungry, so it's very, very, very sad to see what they are throwing out in the sea there, saying that, okay, these are things the fishermen already catch, but the Chinese don't buy it. Then the government should prove what kind of agreement they also made with these fishermen. Whether it is
Yeah.
fair that after fishing that they say they are not going to take it. It's their responsibility to make cool stores, things like that, so that there is no fish wasted. You know.
Exactly.
So this wastage is why Gambia is hungry, because they just go with their trawlers, no control. Also, they haul everything out. So the local fishermen are hungry. They'll go out and haul only one fish. And when they come out with this one fish, they will want to sell it for 2,000 to the poor people. So these are things the government should have a look and try to screw some places, even to the extent of sending these Chinese back. What they are doing, the Gambians can do it. Why should we even take such an investor? These are things Gambians can do it. If we can buy generators for billions, millions of, I don't know, So the machines and cool houses these people are using and grinding machine, they can use the half to make such an investigation, and then producing it and sell it to China themselves and make millions, you know. And then you have people also you can employ Gambians, and you can send these people also, and these people are not going to waste the fish because they know that their family is also there, so they'll take more care also of the environment, you know. So when we come to Senegal, because they were also on the list, I just wanted to say that for me, I don't feel that for them it's an invasion of our economy or anything. I mean, we need Senegal. Gambia needs Senegal. Senegal needs Gambia. That was long ago. You know, the thing is, uh, why many people don't understand. Before Africa, we used to live in groups. You understand? You have here a group Wolof, group Mandinka, group Jola there, and things like that. Till the time of colonization come, these people they just took their line and draw a line. This is mine. This is that's how it happened. So this line sometimes it divides even a group. You understand what happened? Those days the British they just wanted to have the River Gambia, for example. It was their interest. That's why if you see the Gambia is only drawn the River Gambia. What many people don't know. Because they were interested so that they can navigate with their ship. Those days they have more ship than plane. They can navigate through Africa with their ship, like the River Gambia. You know, that's where they put this interest. They mark the Gambia like this. That's why Gambia is only at the river. Before it was all Senegal. So the rest is Senegal. So drawing these lines sometimes will meet a group of Sarahules, a group of Jola, a group of Wolofs, things like that. So if you see originally that, and you can still see it today, you have Wolof in Gambia, you have Wolof in Senegal. Jola in Gambia, you have the Casamas. Wolof here, Fulani here, you have there. So that was always there. So economically, before they used to come, and make their trade, but they don't even stay in Gambia, they go back. Because why should they stay? Because they live next door. You understand? So it was like that they don't necessarily need to come to Gambia. They can come and make their business, but they want to be a Gambian or try to reside within Gambia. So this mutual interest was always there. And I think now they have a very good economy that even many Gambians, they rose there. Try to even buy their homes also, things like that. I know a lot of people who left the Gambia, married to a Senegalese and moved to Dhaka, things like that. So for them, it's no danger. But any other countries, we have to always try to prove them. What is their reason of coming to Gambia? Is that good for Gambia, that small Gambia, or not? No? Even if we say let them all come, look now, to have to rent a house is too much. Why? Because we have a lot of foreigners. Maybe if it is only for Gambian citizens, it will be enough there. But you have invited a lot of people inside. That was not there before. So when they come, they need to stay somewhere. That's the problem we have. So I can leave Njagga to come in. I think that's all what I wanted to say about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alas. That was
Right,
well buried.
My time
Njagga,
is
it's your turn. Nice background, Njagga.
Njagga, welcome.
Impressed. Okay, first of all, thank you, Mr. Sawaneh, and hi and greetings to everyone, Mr. Ceesay, Mr. Ngerr, and all the viewers. First of all, I'm going to start by, on behalf of NGP, the new Gambia platform, we are sending our condolences to the flood, the windstorm victims in the CRR. So we are with their families to tell them our condolences that we are very sorry, and all the families who are displaced. So we expect the government and private sectors to help them out because it's not easy. How I saw it in CRR, it's very devastating. So I wish that the government and people who can help can aid them as quick as possible. And those are one of the things that we should prepare for. Gambia, we are not prepared for lots of things. We are not really prepared. COVID-19 has taught us a lesson. Still now we are living with this COVID in the Gambia, but people don't know about it. You understand, because of that, there is not much of sensitization, there is not much of information, and there is not much of logical or test to make on people. So this kind of devastating thing happening in the Gambia, we should be much more prepared for it. Like the COVID when it comes to the health sector, the windstorm that's happened in the CRR just days ago. So I wish that the government can help when it comes to this kind of stuff, so that the people can be more protected. Yeah. So we are with their families. And also one more thing, last week, because we are still talking about the Gambia, last week there was a concert, I don't know, Rock the Vote concert performed that happened in the Gambia at Westfield. I really salute that move, because it will encourage people to go and find voters cards if they want to access those kind of concerts. And now those are the kind of use that we are not with ID cards or voters card. But now if they can afford voters card just to go to a concert, I think that the situation is changing, and things are changing, the mentality and how we see politics and our country. So I hope that this kind of initiatives can continue, so that we can engage our youth more and more when it comes to our politics.
Right.
So it's just the introduction I wanted to make. So when it comes to what we are talking about, our foreign invasion, you know, our problem in Gambia is one problem: corruption. Gis nga Gambia suñ bàyyiwut ma ñam lan moo ci suma wala lan laa ci am mbe mun a sota la jee ku dinna lii su ma ko defee lan laa ci am lan la may jëriñ. Gis nga buñ bàyyiwut loolu duñ dem fenn, because of gis nga investment there are lots of foreign investment in the Gambia boo xam ne they are not working on a proper documentation. First of all, you understand, because of there is a deal between them and some personnel in the government. There is no proper documentation, like what we talked about the license concerning the pharmaceuticals. It was Gambian giving it to foreigners. They were not giving it to Gambians, they were giving it to foreigners. So there are people working on the false documentation in the Gambia. Apart from that, there are lots of people who are having businesses. Let us look, we are talking something very serious. Let's point out the facts. There are some people with businesses, they only employ girls. And the reason for that is to use them. You understand? That's the second thing. There are others who are investing in our country for money laundering and selling drugs. You understand? And the reason why we can't identify them, or the reason why we can't get hold of these people, is because of they are backed by some people in our government. As I said, they want to have everything in everything that in everything that comes in the country. And also there are some things that we need to structureize. If we don't structure it, the Gambia, the problem with Gambia is that for a Gambian to open a business is not easy because of our poor wages. You understand? When you live, let's say, okay, there are some African countries, even Gabon. People are going to Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, and other countries to hustle. And there are Africans going there to hustle. And when they come, they make a better life than the life that they left. So there are certain countries that when you live, maybe when you work for 5 good years, you can have something that you can open your own business. But Gambia, can a Gambian live on the wages that the Gambian receive every single month? Can he open a business? That is a problem. If you don't have help, you can't open a business. So the businesses can only be run by foreigners. So how are they running their businesses? How are they implementing their businesses in our countries? And secondly, if you have to give an opportunity for someone to make a business in your country, there are policies, there are rules. If you have to open a company or an industry, there are certain personnel that are staffs that should come from the country itself or the area, not even the country. Let's say if you have an industry in Serekunda, you understand, let's say 50% of all your employees come from Serekunda. You understand, the whole 30, the rest from all from the other areas. Maybe you can have 10% that you can bring your engineers or whatever you want from your own country. But this is not how it works in the Gambia. You understand? You come, they give you right, you give them money, you understand, they give you false documentation, give you a space, give you everything, give you all the rights. They don't check on you, they don't check on what you are doing, they don't check on how much you are earning, they are not even paying proper tax. Honestly speaking, if you go to GRA right now, their biggest problem is there are lots of businesses which are not paying tax. But the problem is you will not hear anything from it because they are backed from some person, that they are backed by some people in the government. Our government is the problem. It's our fundamental problem. Look, it's time that let us stop the politicians using us. You understand? Sacrificing us on the road. They only look at us, listen to us, or take care of us when there is elections. There are lots of things going in the Gambia. Our government is the one who is putting it on us. You understand? The drugs, the prostitution, who is bringing it here? The foreigners, they're the one bringing this here, the Lebanese. You understand? So when it comes to the Chinese are coming, they are destroying our markets. You understand? Today, nobody is going to the Samsung shop or an original shop to buy an original food and an original stuff because of the Chinese stuff. That hurts our economy. It's not good. There are lots of things we are consuming in the Gambia and using. It should be made in Gambia. We have the resources, we have the talent, but the problem is we don't have opportunities. We don't have the resources, we don't have the opportunities, and we don't have the wages or the income. So who's going to take over our country? Of course, foreigners will come with their wages and take over our country. If foreigners don't invest in our country, how are we going to survive? We can't survive without foreigners. Honestly speaking, even in our households, in our streets, we depend on foreigners. We depend on Tubats, we depend on Lebanese, we depend on foreigners so that we can eat, so that we can feel like we are humans or we are somebody in our own country. You understand? Those foreigners are even much more than citizens like us. You understand? They have much more than the rights that we Gambians we have. And the problem is our government. There is no going and coming about it. The problem is the president down. Each one on every them, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of your Finance. You understand? Our Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I don't even know what it stands for, honestly speaking. I don't even know what it stands for, because of those places, like those people are the ones who should see where the talent is in the Gambia and try and help them with investment, so that, because of, look, if we don't hold our own investments, if we don't grow what we consume, you understand, if we don't control our fisheries, our waters, honestly speaking, we will talk about this 10 years again, 10 years again. 20 years again, we will sit down here and talk about it. And if you don't change these leaders, and if these politicians don't change the mentality of Gambians, of us, how we see our leaders and how we see our country, or how we see our laws, how it is implemented, and how our government is governed, if they don't help us to solve, we will sit down here 10 years again and talk about this. Our problem lies deeper than even what we are talking about. Our problem goes back to 20, 30 years ago, from when we had independence. Still now, we are not finding a proper way to go through so that our Gambia can be better than how it is. Honestly speaking, our problem has been here. So we need someone, honestly speaking, to help us. But this foreign invasion, if our wages are not good, if we are not investing in agriculture, if we don't take our sea and make it our own responsibility and see how to help people with our fisheries and things like that, we will always be inviting foreigners to come and invest in our country, because of it's them that we can depend on to live, because they are the one with the money, they are the one with the business. So without them, how are we going to move on? So that is the problem. That's my take on it for now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Njagga.
Thank you. Wow, you guys have really, spoken well. I don't even know where to start, but I will start anyway. I will start. I have to. There must be like little, holes that I need to probably cover that are uncovered. So first of all, I would like to again say the same thing Njagga said, which is to send our condolence on the behalf of New Gambia platform to the Gambian people who suffered from the hurricane. It is, I had about 10 people passed away. A lot of homes have been destroyed. We are ill prepared. We were not prepared as we're supposed to. And again, this is all to do with our developmental projects, with our developmental initiative, with our state of our country. The country has no mechanism to have, we don't have any plans to make sure that such catastrophe can be counted. So that's why a lot of roofs, a lot of places have been, because the way of our building are still, especially in the provinces, are still the same. There hasn't been a modernization on our cities and so forth. That's why, we suffer this kind of thing. So thank God we don't have earthquakes and other things in the Gambia. So something of this nature, actually, if that could destroy our country to this capacity, what about if we had natural disasters like earthquake and other stuff? So thank God for that. Now, come to the meat of the discussion. Foreign invasion or foreign investments. This is an issue lately we have seen. During Drammeh time, we have seen some, but it was kind of controlled a little bit, but now it went out of hand. First, the issue that we are encountering is we see a lot of dead fish on our coastal areas. And this fish should have been beneficial to our citizens. Gambia now, to buy a fish, to have a fish for a meal, it will cost you an arm and a leg. In our days, back in the days, chalo, tambajangolo, ngunja, all they are very easy for moy domo. Ikata duta wa fola le fango. Ye tambajango sang, ya samba suokono very easily. Yela duta nintara dutol wafi, kerwan tendala and so forth. Nkanyol sanke samba suokono. Very easy. But now, purka nyawo fango domo. Gambia, is more difficult. Wala mulka muna domo. Chicken. The chicken that are two left, two rights. The chickens are not even a match chicken, and nobody knows where they came from. So Gambian people, we are not even eating healthy anymore. Why? Because our environment is so toxic. The environment is polluted to a point that we are not getting the right foods. We don't have any poultry. We don't rear chickens anymore. We don't rear lamb. We don't do anything. So to make this story short, our environment is really been tempered by the foreign invasion. The Chinese people, I will start. Chinese people came to the Gambia. They signed contracts. I don't know how. And then they exploit our seas. They are taking these fishes to feed their pigs, to feed their animals. And some of these chemicals they put in the sea kills a lot of fish. We see from Gunjuru area and other sources how many dead fish are picked every time people go around. So this could have been beneficial to our citizens. This could have even bring the cost of the fish in the market down, because when the supply is more, the demand goes down, and then the cost goes down. That's the simple economics. So first we fail there. I don't know who is responsible per se, but we cannot take the government out, and we cannot take the National Assembly out, because they make the laws. Somebody should have checked in this area and ask questions. How can we mitigate this? Chinese people, what are they doing? What are they giving us different that will cause us all this harm? While our environment, be polluted, what is the trade-off? So somebody need to look into this and say, okay, it's worth it. But basically, none of our citizens has been sensitized that this thing worth it. So I urge the National Assembly and the governments to look into this, because we need, at this point in life, we need to have, healthy diet. And then the way we have healthy diet is by eating what we have, our natural foods. One of the natural food out there that we can eat is fish. That's the one that is grown in the sea. You don't even have to manufacture it in a small pond like we do in the West. You use these natural fishes and then eat and get proteins and get all this health nutrients from it to keep us healthy. Healthy populace is a wealthy populace. So our people need to know this, and then we have to put regulations in place. I understand the Chinese people, they come with a lot of money. Sometimes they pay under the table to satisfy our leaders so that they can bypass some rules. But this is undone. You look at the future of our unborn kids. Don't just look at the self-interest of you as a leader. Look at what the future will bring. If all these fishes are being killed, we're gonna run out of them at some point. And then what will you explain to the unborn child that is coming after you? So we need to protect our environment. When the Chinese people come, and then they need to invest on these trawlers, they need to do this kind of damage in our sea, we have to factor what is the cost, what is the trade-off? Is the trade-off 3 times or 4 times better than the harm that has been caused. So this is an effective government. This is what effective, government and effective National Assembly would do. You don't look at today, you look at tomorrow, 10 years from today, and protect your environment. And also not only in the sea, but even the environment around Guntur area. There are some pollution being done on the land masses. We need to understand that what are the repercussions of those, soil, the mill factory and all those factories there. What are they doing to our soil? What are they doing to our environment? And then we can put heavy tariff on them to make up the damage. Because a lot of people are getting sick. Nobody knows why are they getting sick. So it is very highly important to understand. And secondly, we also have to look at opportunities. I always say this, and I even told the president folks this. When opportunity arises, look for Gambians. Like Sam was saying, you cannot entertain all these foreign investors. While there are Gambian investors there, there are a lot of Gambians who are interested to create businesses, but they are having problems. Do you know why? Because they are not like these foreign investors who can come and give heavy money under the table. I have seen a lot of Gambians with great ideas. When they go to try to make those ideas materialize, they encounter problems because what they get twist and turn. You go to one office, they say go to Samba, go to party, go to
I can tell you, Mr. Sawaneh, I can tell you myself.
yeah.
I have it live.
So that is very, very not. That is very this thing to our youths because or our national because once you started pushing somebody on and off, they get discouraged and their ideas are shut down, and there's nowhere to exercise those ideas. So what the government has to do, the government don't create jobs as such, but they create loopholes. They create an avenues for job creation. They make taxes easier on small businesses. They also give leeway and encourage people to invest by giving them tax breaks. So I think our citizens should be prioritized to some of these things. If you see somebody who come and bid for a contract, let's say the national ID card or something like that, and a Gambian company, give that person a priority. Don't look at it like, what can I get from Simlex or other companies? Because that is short term. But this Gambian folks who's gonna bring his team, he's gonna hire Gambian people. The money stays in the country, not to this thing. So we need to factor that. And then when it comes to Senegal, Senegal is Gambia. Gambia is Senegal. It used to be one country, Senegambia. And then, of course, the British and then the French, they divided through the, whatever ways they wanted. But what I want to say about Senegal and Gambia relationship, Senegal, they are there for their interests as well. No matter, how we look at it. You take your tier. When somebody put your friend and somebody who you don't know, you will pick your friend. Somebody put your friend and yourself, you will pick yourself. Senegalese, starting from the Federation, Senegambia Federation with the Jawara's government, they wanted the Bamba Tenda Bridge to be built. Jawara fooled them, and then it didn't end up well. There's always going to be an strategic interest that Senegal is looking into Gambia to explore, either we know it or not. Look at our fishery area. When I went to Tangier 2019, most of those canoes coming from the sea are Senegalese canoes. They are going in and getting the fish and selling it to our people at a very higher price. So I was there, and when those people come and deliver the fish, they also hand it over to the other people, ladies who sell it. So now the more it passes through levels, the more expensive this fish become. So that's why Gambian fishes now are more expensive because it goes through different levels. Now, how about our government investing on trawlers, fishing trawlers, investing on other areas and having our citizens go and then do the fishing. Train them, encourage them. The fishery department, let them get there and take the business. First of all, they will employ the Gambians. Second of all, the money stays, because we spend it there and our economy gets booms. Third, there might not be, like levels. Maybe it's only gonna be go pick the fish and sell it, and that's it. So the amount we pay for the fish would be reduced, so that people can afford it. A poor person can be able to eat fish. But right now, as Gambia stands, I'm telling you, if you don't go to Tange, you want to go and buy fish in the fish market, you end up spending more. So we need tougher regulation. We need to sensitize our people that our people also need to take charge of their country. I think everything here lies under patriotism. If you believe in the well-being of your country, you put that interest first, everything falls under. You see the bigger picture. See, Rwanda, when they had the genocide, when they were, all done, nobody had hope. You know what they did? They went and said, what happened in the past. Let's leave behind us. Let's move on. Let's come together and unite. Let us not hold each other accountable of the genocide, this tribe, and they find a unifier, which is the leader. So you need a unifier. You need people to come to their senses and forgive and forget. See what had happened to Gambia? If I have it on my way, let's forgive and forget. Let's forget about tribal issues. Let's come together in unity and say, you know what, we are all ready. Let's do it for our country. Once we have that mindset, we don't have to just talk about it. Once we have that mindset in place, I swear, everybody will grab. I grab here, Njagga will grab other side, and then Alice will grab, Sam will grab. We're all gonna grab together. And then if that happens across the country, we will have something like Rwanda shortly. Not even in less than 10 years. Within 5 years, we can build just like Rwanda. So patriotism is the key. Once we have that, all this nonsense that we're talking about, this foreign invasion, all this, corruption and everything will all be gone, because people have rise up and say, this is our country. We're doing it for our country, not for me. So that's what I want to add, guys.
No, thank you, Mr. Sawaneh. I just wanted to come back to this Chinese investigation in Gambia. You could say, the Chinese themselves, they used to do it like that. They used to tell companies, you want to invest in China? You say yes. They say, okay. Then you are going to employ, they give you a number of Chinese people. If you agree to that, then they'll sign it up with you. They did that with Airbus. They wanted to buy Airbus. They told Airbus, look, the planes we want to buy, we would like you to come here in China and produce it here. You understand what they wanted? They wanted to study the technique. So unless you come and build the company here and build the planes here, employ our people, then we will sign the contract. You know what they do? Because that's what they want, always to teach their people the technique. So that means it's an advantage for the Chinese people, because they already have a lot of problem with unemployment. That's why they always try to invest in Africa, sending these people outside to go and work, because there is a very high population of unemployment. The government, they do that too. So they give these options. If you say, okay, now I would like to invest, then they'll say, come. So you sign this, let's say 5 years. So the people working for you, near you, are studying the whole time. That means after the 5 years, they'll tell you your contract is finished, Mr. Sawaneh, you can go. So that means you go, but the knowledge is there. You understand? Then you can go because the contract is ended. Then you can go, but the people who are working there, they know they have the technique already. So then you will see after 2 weeks made in China. Because these people, they qualify themselves already through working and watching. You understand? So that is also a very, very good or bad trick because they did it to a lot of German companies. I know that. Now at the end, they even took their laptops and all that. It's not the best thing. But just to say that we should not also be too civilized with any investor from outside. At the end of the day, they are all after their interests. If they cannot
Exactly.
exploit you, you are not a good friend.
Yeah.
And these are things Gambians should put in mind. You know, only their interests. Even if you say our old colonial masters those days, they are also their interests. You can see how Gambia on the map is. It's because of interest. That's why the shape of Gambia is looking like this. So people should not forget that. So when we have our independence and try to, with our bad economy and try to look for investors, we have to be very careful. As you said, we should stop asking, what do I have from it? That is
Exactly.
corruption and high level corruption. And this should stop in the Gambia. You mentioned here also Gambians coming to invest. I was one. I even took here one time holidays, 2 weeks. I was in the Gambia just going up and down because I just wanted to help the youths. That was blood. And I don't know, you know. So things like that. Maybe many other people try that too. But Gambians are not considered, but Lebanese and all these people, because they come and try to give somewhere bribery and I don't know. And the person giving them license and so is also after his pocket because maybe he's complaining his salary is not enough. So that is corruption, and that is only serving one individual. People should always think of Gambia, as you said here. What is to help the whole of Gambia, not only me. This concept, and to say, let us throw away all our differences and try to be patriotic, think of one Gambia and move forward. If we had this mentality before, then Gambia is on another level today. But you
Exactly.
can see that even voters registration, what kind of problems we having. That is showing you that we are always keeping ourselves busy with nonsense,
Yeah.
which is keeping us back with nonsense. Quarreling here, other countries, even at this time, politicians come out trying to show their agenda. Everybody is beating his breast to say, if you vote me, I'm going to do this for the country. If you vote me, I'm going to do that. That is the game. But look at our level in half a year time for election. What are we talking about?
Exactly.
Quarreling, pushing each other, insulting each other. So you can see the kind of level we are when we talk about elections.
Yeah.
You know,
So
but how can people know?
Yeah, my
How can people know what is the best thing to do? So this is the responsibility of the opposition, all politicians. Before they stand on stages insulting each other, they try to be on stage and teach the people. If they have agenda, let them come out with their agendas and tell the people, this is what I'm going to do, or this is what I'm doing, and these are my plans. Because that's the way in a democratic place that people will say, okay, I'll give my vote to this person. But not that they can give me their votes because I'm the best person to insult another person, you know. So you ask yourself, where are we? Where is our standard? Are we in a country of pushing and insulting each other, or we are waiting for the politicians to come out and tell us their plans, which is going to bring Gambia forward? I think that one we also need to think about. Or what you said, Mr. Sawaneh, to throw away all differences, think of Gambia. I think that will bring everybody together, and then
yeah,
we plan how to go forward. I think this
definitely,
is going to be more beneficial. So
definitely.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Alas. I think Njagga, you
yeah,
can
yeah.
say Njagga.
I just want to remind something to the Gambians and the government. We do not forget about our oil. You understand? FAR, that Norwegian company, it's still in the Gambia. And these days, I even heard that they have little problems with their shareholders. There is mineral resources in the Gambia. Let the Gambians not forget that. And let the government know that we are not forgetting that. And we know that FAR is in Gambia still. And they are the one taxed to exploit our oil. That's what I want to remind them, that Gambia, we have enough that we can keep to ourselves and survive. You understand, without needing any help or anybody to come and help us or develop our country for us. We have enough to develop our country by ourselves. We have the natural resources. We have we have enough land. We have the sunshine. We have the sea. So we have enough to develop our own country. So let our governments and our politicians stop fooling us. We are not stupid. We are not crazy, and we are not sleeping. We know exactly what is going on. We are in the 21st century, and we are aware. They should know that we are aware. We know everything that is going on in the Gambia. So let us stop fooling us and try and help us, help the youths, make more employment, help our mothers and our fathers to have a better life. You understand? Help our sisters and our women, and they also need help. So these are the kind of things that our government should focus on. And when it comes to about Senegal, there is a point that I forgot. As Sawaneh said, we are brothers. You know, Senegalese and Gambian. My grandma, before she died, may peace be upon him. Before she died, she was going between Gambia and Senegal, doing her own business. We just need a better trade agreement between Gambia and Senegal. There is no even need of that much of tax. We just need a trade agreement so that things can, move within Gambia and Senegal, because of it is the same. You understand? It was just the time of colonization. The colonies that colonized us, separated these two countries. But it is the same. It is the only country where you go and you speak Wolof. You understand? So that's it. We just need a better trade agreement. We just need also our government. Dañoo wara am tuuti fulla ak fayda. You understand? Dañoo wara am fulla ak fayda. I'm going to say it in Wolof. Swing president, swing government, dañoo war a am fulla ak fayda. Let us keep our things to ourselves, our natural resources. We are not telling nobody to come and invest in our country, but let it be a win-win situation. Not only it will suit us Gambians too, because they are coming into our land, invest. When we go to somebody's land and invest, we abide by their rules and by their principle. Like Ngerr said, in China, because of China and things, places like that, they put their country before their pockets. But here in Gambia, we put our pockets in front of our country. You understand? We put our family and
or one man's pocket. One man's pocket. That's the danger.
They don't care. Honestly speaking, sometimes I wonder, how can a politician, a multimillionaire, you are there, you should work for our country, but you are not doing so. You are there working for yourself with your big belly, with yourself, today you can be thin, and to the next 1 month you are more fadam. So at the same time, you are going, you understand, every single day you drive in your car, you see poverty, you see people suffering, you see our women and our mom and our mothers on the street suffering, and still now you have that ability and that heart to pass them, and still now you don't do anything to change that situation. Those are the kind of politicians we are having. You understand? Those are that they don't think about anything else other than themselves. They are greedy, much more than greedy. The worst thing than greedy is that they are heartless. Because how can you sit on millions and still now pass people that suffered for you to put you there, and you still now you can sleep over that? You understand? That is much more than corruption. It is much more than greediness. That is wickedness. You understand? And this has to change. You understand? And us also, we too, we are responsible. We have to do something for ourselves if the government is not doing nothing for us. We have to fight for our lives. You understand? No matter what we do, we can do something that we can survive on. The youths also, some of them are lazy. We have to stand on our feet and fight for ourselves and not wait for the government. You understand? That's what I want to say.
The government cannot do everything. That is normal. But the government can help, like the help they used to have from.
Somebody said, why are you not talking about the most important things that are affecting the Gambia, such as corruption, unemployment, lower wages, poor health, bad roads, shortage of water and electricity, crimes, poverty, etc., etc.
That's what I do.
Tell him that we talk already about that. We have a lot of topics about corruption already.
No, we talked about it even today.
He missed something. Even today, Njagga is saying something. But normally we tell him that we even have how many topics about corruption. That's why we put it away, because we are shouting here and nobody is hearing. But you could say nobody is hearing about it. because it's not that they don't want to or they don't know how to, because to do something you need to know also. Sometimes I don't blame the people. Maybe it's just because of the know-how, because sometimes you can see the problem, but if you have no idea how to solve it, it's also another problem. And I think we have problems of solving. Not that we don't know. I think everybody is aware. Like Mr. Sawaneh, the person who is asking you this, is also aware. So some top ranks, they know it, and then but we don't try to find a solution for it, or they don't want to have a solution for it.
Thank you very much, guys. We see next Sunday. It was very interesting. Hope viewers they will try and watch the whole show. I think that everything they wanted to hear, they will hear it. Thank you.
Yeah. Then take care. You have to rush to your appointment.
Thank you, Ngerr.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Sam.
Mr. Sawaneh,
Sam
I
is
think
back.
I answered. Yeah, Sam is back. I think I answered the question. Or
Yeah. No.
tell,
I told the guy that we've discussed some of it, and we're gonna discuss more of that.
Yeah, we can find another topic again, because we have on the list a lot of topics, and we cannot be talking about the corruption every day. I think we talk about corruption about over 20 times.
Yeah.
Or more than that, because since at the beginning of this platform, I think we talk about corruption.
Yeah,
So
he was just
yes.
expressing his this thing, which is
I
fine.
know, but we are always on it, and we are against it also, because we cannot have corruption in our place.
Yeah.
Good
No,
for
maybe he just saw that foreign invasion, and then maybe things like that's not as important as other things. I think.
yeah. I mean, all come from corruption, and corruption comes from poverty. That's why people say poverty is a crime, but we cannot be poor. We are having all what we need, just that we don't know. Just like as I just said here, how to solve the problem. So our resources,
And
we have a lot of
somebody also asked, are you ready? Are youths ready for a patriotic change? So that's another question being asked.
Yeah, I mean, people are ready, but the people who are patriotic and want to make a change, they also need to understand how to solve the problem. The problem is in our hands, the Gambians. I used to say, you all are having your voting cards. Take your time, don't rush, let nobody influence you. Your voting card is your everything. Take care and give the person who promised you, whom you think is going to do something for you. Than just to follow the heart and then say everybody is voting this person, so I have to vote that person. You yourself don't have any ground. This is nonsense. So I would advise every Gambian to try to take a look and ask himself, what is the use of my voting card? What can I do? What can I change in a country? That's why we have elections. So after that, nobody to be blamed.
Yeah. Sam, what do you have? Sam is back. Can you hear us? Do you have anything to wrap up the?
Yeah, I think it's mute. Sam is mute.
You are mute. We cannot sit here.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah,
can you hear me now?
Yeah,
okay.
You're welcome.
Yep, good. What I wanted to say to end this, my final words here is, at the end of the day, we need good leadership to run a country. Running a country is not a joke. It's really not a joke. If we put people in there that don't know how, we're always going to be in this kind of situation. So it's very important for Gambians to think about that. Now that people are registering, technically today would be the last day for registration, I think. But we need to make sure that people know that it's very, very important. If you want to see something different, you've got to do something different. And the only thing different you're going to do is vote this year. Vote to make a change if you want change. If you don't want to change, well, guess what? You're going to continue to do what we're doing now. We're going to continue on the same path that we're on. And Gambia is such a small country. I feel very sorry for ourselves, and it's very sad that we cannot develop our country to be one of the best in Africa, which really we should. Gambia should have been today, should have been one of the best countries in Africa, because it's a smaller country. We have the resources to really stand on our own and sustain ourselves without taking too much loans, if we can manage our resources correctly. Now, getting the right people that will manage that resource correctly is the key. We need to get the right people in place to be able to do that. If not, we will be back talking about this again over and over, and problems are not going to get solved. So the solution to it is elect the right people that know how, people that are knowledgeable and they have experience in all of these, so that no investor will come and fool them, so that nobody in the civil service can fool them, because they know how. They know how to control corruption. They know how to control our economy. They know how to balance the budget. They know how to, really look after our people, our health, our environment, our education, our agriculture, our, everything, our cost of living. There's a lot of problems in the Gambia, and unfortunately, we don't have the right people that can fix them yet. So, and on top of that, unfortunately, even the current government don't have the right people. If the president don't know how and does not surround himself with the people that know how, it's just going to be from the frying pan into the fire. That's how it's going to be. So, and we need to really get ourselves out of that fire by using our votes, and make sure that we vote for someone that is going to do the right thing for our country, and someone that's not going to be greedy, someone that's not coming to look after money or looking for money, someone that's not going to enrich himself with the people that they hire, or anyone in the government, that for that matter, that we take the people that are going to do the job. And leadership hold themselves accountable first before you worry about holding people accountable, because it's much easier if you are the leader, you hold yourself accountable, play by the book, do the right things, and be very consistent. Then it will be easy to hold people accountable. But with all of that, it has to come with the knowledge, the experience, the know-how. If you have the know-how, you can do it. If you don't have that, don't waste our time. That's it for Gambia. We've already wasted over 20 years. We've already wasted over 20 years since we had independence. So we have no more time to waste, because any little time, even 2 months of waste, is 2 months that we're putting, 2 months burden that we're putting on our children and our grandchildren, because we're not managing ourselves correctly. So what I'm going to urge is, there are people out there that know how. We need to look for the right people. We need to encourage Gambians to vote for the right people. And of course, stay on top of that. We should never have a president in our country from now on moving forward for even 2 terms if they cannot run the first time correctly. That's it. Any president that we vote for, we give them a chance, give them an opportunity, let them come in, show us what they can do. They've got to be able to show us what they can do within 2-3 years. If they cannot do that at the end of their 5 years, which is their constitutional mandate, we vote them out. Just get them out of there. Give your votes to somebody else. We will get the right person there at some point. If not this coming year, if not this December election, we will get the right person in there the following election. That's what we need to do until we get the right person. Then we allow the right person to have the full 2 terms, 5 years. You do election, vote for them again to continue for another 5 years, if they put the country on the right track for a development and economic growth of our country that will cater for people's welfare, people's our education, the economy, and the cost of living, the youths, the women. I mean, you name it. There's so many problems. You can't name all of it. There's so many problems in our country. We need to, the problems are too many. If you name one thing, you are leaving another one. There's too many of them. We need to get somebody that's going to come in and solve the problems. We need problem solvers, people that are going to solve and sustain. Keep it up. Yeah, that's all I want to say.
Thank you, Alas. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
I just want to add,
thank you all.
I just want to add, guys. Collectively, I believe, let's leave the past. Let's come together, put our country first, and then come together and as a united front and then have the right leadership in place, I bet this country will move forward and then we will achieve what we intend to achieve. So thank you guys for a wonderful job on this. And I think definitely for in terms of foreign invasion or foreign investment, that is something that can be controlled. It's just us coming together and then taking care of it collectively. I think this topic was well put. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. America. Take care. Yeah. Have a nice day.
Germany, thank you. Sam, have a good day.
Yep, y'all have a great day. Thank you now.
Sam, drive carefully. The life you save may be your own.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yep.